If you recall, in class we talked about the verb estar and the verb ser. Estar and ser mean the exact same thing, and we basically broke it down here. We used acronyms so that we could figure out how to use each one of those in different situations. Okay, we said that for the verb estar, you would use the acronym PLACE, and that stands for all these different things. P for position, L for location, A for action. Now I want to talk about this one right here because if you recall, we kind of skipped over this one and I said that we would cover it later. Well, we're covering it now. Action. Okay, this is dealing with the ing in English. Okay, you might say, for example, he is running, she is smiling, they are eating, okay, she is drinking water. Things like that, those have all ing at the end. In Spanish, there's also a way to do that, okay, and we're going to use the verb estar. You do not use the verb ser when doing ing. Again, it falls under action, which is place, which if you look over here, place equals estar. So let's go back and let's do a little bit of writing, okay, to kind of give some examples on how we're going to do this. Okay, hopefully this thing does a pretty good job at focusing. Alright, so let's go ahead. The first thing we need to do is we need to conjugate the verb estar. Okay, so let's write estar, and we know that means to be. Okay, at this point, if we can focus, at this point you should know how to conjugate the verb estar. You should know how to make this little chart. Okay, and let me see if we can focus this. So I'm going to go ahead and conjugate it. We have estoy that goes here, if you remember. It's an irregular verb. Estás. Don't forget your accent marks. Está. Estamos. And you should know what all of these things mean. We don't use this one. And then this is the last one. Están. Okay. So first thing is first. Let's figure out how to do ing in Spanish, okay? Alright, here's an example, okay? So, in English, for example, we might say, well, let's back up for a second. Let's make a note real quick. ER and IR verbs, okay? The way that you make an ing, instead of ing, you get I-E-N-D-O, okay, a little bit longer than ing, and that is for, again, for the ER-IR verbs. Now the AR verbs are different, okay, so AR would be A-N-D-O, and that's equivalent to ing, okay, as well. You're just dealing with two different types of verbs, okay. Alright. So let's give some examples. I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. And let's go with the verb comer. Okay. First thing that you want to ask yourself is, what kind of verb is this one? Okay. Well, we know by the ending. You know it ends with an ER, so it's an ER verb. And if you recall, we said that the ER IR verbs get a IENDO for the ing. So keeping that in mind, the first thing that we need to do, just like we do with conjugation, is we need to drop off the last two letters and you're left with a stem. Okay, and because it's an ER verb, we go to the ER, IR here, we add INDO. Okay, that's the INGO or ING. So we're going to go like this. Okay, IENDO. So the new word that you get is comiendo. Alright, that is equivalent to saying eating. Okay, so you get the ing, so there's your ing in Spanish, there's the English, eating. Okay, so if now how does this work together with the verb estar? Well, we usually say I am eating. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out which of all these is the I am, and we know that it's this one right here, top left quadrant, and you get estoy. So you would simply say, to say I'm eating, you would just say estoy, and then there's the eating we did earlier, so you would write it down. And that means I am, we're going to run off the page here, eating. Okay, and so that's pretty straightforward. Okay, all right, let's do another example. Okay, what if I had, let's move this one up. What if I had, let's say, speaking. Okay, so if you recall, the verb to speak is hablar. Okay, what kind of verb is this one? Well, if we look at the ending, last two letters, we know that it's an AR verb. Right? And so for AR verbs, right here, we can see that our ending is ANDO. It's not going to be IENDO like the ER-IR. So this is our ending. So let's go back over here, okay, and let's look at this. So we're going to drop off, if you recall, we're going to drop off the last two letters, just like we're conjugating a verb. And so you're left with this stem right here. All right. So because it's an AR, okay, AR verb, we add ANDO to the end of that. So we just take it after we drop the AR off and we add ANDO, and you get a new word, speaking or talking. Okay. So what if I wanted to say they are speaking? Okay, let's go back to our conjugation chart. Of all of these, we know that this one right here is the they are. So están. So I would say, I could go ahead and put ellos to clarify. Ellos están, don't forget your accent mark. And then the new word that we got was speaking, which would be hablando. Okay. So that's pretty much how you do it. This works the same way with IR verbs. Okay, the ER and IR are pretty much tied together. Now there are three other types of verbs, I guess you would say, that will have a different ending for ing, but this is usually the case. Okay, there are some exceptions, just a few words, but usually right here this is the case. So again, this is how you do ing in Spanish.